Welcome to the Northstars Show, episode 2 of season 5, The Deuce. You'll notice we're still kind of finding our way in season number 5 here. I'm not wearing the jacket. The Northstar jacket is back at Paul's office. It's not here in the Lost and Found either. I've got a great show lined up for you this week, though. We're going to have a talk with Coach Corman, get some thoughts on the past weekend. We've got some representatives from the Bantam AAA Wolves here to talk to us, and we do 1 minute with Ethan Stuckless when we finally get him woken up in the Zamboni room. So we're joined once again by Coach Corman. You guys are just back from a road trip, played a bunch of games down south. Can you give us a bit of an overview? Obviously, we weren't there to see it, which is unfortunate for the most part. So what did you think of the games this weekend?
Well, I think it was a good opportunity to use those 3 games as a measuring stick to see where we got to focus in on. I think it was an eye-opener for some of the guys. Playing AA midget and then jumping to AAA or AA bantam, jumping into AAA midgets, big adjustment. The speed, I think a few of them were in awe and did a lot of standing around and watching when they should have been skating. But there were some good things that happened, and as the games progressed from the first game to the third game, there was fewer mistakes, and I think that's something we can take away positive, and hopefully our next game there's fewer mistakes then.
The scores and the updates we got certainly showed that the guys got stronger as the games went on, and I'm sure part of that was just getting used to the speed and getting used to the league for those guys.
Oh, I think so. And the teams down south have already played 6-8 games. They got exhibition games. They've had tournaments. So unfortunately, that was our first games. But that's the price we pay for living up here in the north. So no excuses. But I'm sure 6 games into the season we'll be a much better hockey team than we were at the start.
We'll mark that down and we'll play that back on show number 8.
Okay.
So last year we sort of introduced a thing that we called Blues and Gold, so looking at some of the things that maybe didn't go so good and some of the things that did. So let's start with the Blues from the last 3 games in the past weekend.
Giveaways, too many giveaways. We have the puck. It's impossible for the other team to score, so we keep giving the puck away. The other team, the percentages are going to go up, and eventually they're going to put the puck in the net. So giveaways was something that I wasn't happy with. There's some undisciplined penalties, and I need players like Mikey Marcus. He's going to have to learn. He wants to play at the next level, and he wants to wear the C on his jersey. He's going to have to be disciplined. Third-year player, he's got to get the message that other teams are just going to get under his skin, and he's either going to have to start taking some abuse, because when you have the puck, you become a target, and if I was the other team, I'd zero in on Mikey and get him rattled. So.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I can't help but chuckle a little because we talked to him last week on the show, and he said that he was going to try to stay out of the box. I guess the other teams managed to get under his skin and give him a bit of a hard time. So that'll be something that he's going to have to keep working on as you guys head for the end of the year.
Yeah, it's going to have to start like right now. There's no courtesy to him for 10 games. It's a big year for him, a third year. He's going to have to stay out of the box, put some points on the board, and lead this hockey team if he wants to have any success.
We'll quit picking on him maybe a little bit. Maybe we'll get back to him in a couple shows from now. We'll mark that one down too.
Sure.
How about we talk about some goals, some of the things that really went well on the weekend?
Goaltending. I was very pleased. They faced a lot of rubber on the weekend. Connor started for 2 games, finished both games. Stood in there, and the scores could have been a lot worse for sure if it wasn't for Connor's play. Having Jeremy come in as a 15-year-old, he stopped a lot of rubber. I was pleased with his play, maybe working a little bit on his rebounds, but for the goaltending, I think we'll be fine if we get that kind of goaltending throughout the year. The rest of the forwards, there's some good forwards. People come out, watch Justin Akbar. He's nice to watch. He adds another dimension to our hockey team. He's a big kid. He's got some soft hands. He's got some hockey sense, and he makes our team a much better hockey team.
Wonderful. It's nice to hear that we've got some shining lights like that. You've got a few practices here to go before we drop the puck in the sea. Nesbitt, what kind of things are you going to be working on practice this week to be ready for the weekend?
This week, we'll be working on special teams, penalty kill, power play. We never touched on any of that up until now. So special teams, and then some defensive coverage deep in our zone, goal line back. We've got our defense have to win those battles, and we've got to support the defense, so we'll be working on some defensive coverage. Deep in our end, and special teams will be the focus for the week.
For this week, and we'll look forward to seeing them do well on the weekend. Thanks for joining me, Doug. We'll wish you well here in the sea, Nesbitt.
Thanks, Bruce.
You're watching the Northstars Show on Shaw TV.
Welcome back. We're having a little coffee and conversation without the coffee with a few people from the Bantam AAA team. So, brand new team this year to Northern Manitoba. Rob Biliqwka is the coach. Rob, welcome and thanks for being on Minor Hockey Moment.
Well, thank you for having me here.
We'll start off with you and then we'll get on to Sheldin and Braedin, who are a couple of players on the team. Give us just a little bit of background on your experience coaching and your experience with minor hockey here in Thompson.
Well, I started coaching in 1993, and I went right up the system from novice up to Bantam. Played junior hockey in 1987. I think that's the height of my experience, is playing that level of hockey. To be coaching this level, Bantam AAA, it's good. It's a good comparison for me.
Kind of comparable, and I think just the way that hockey's gone over the last. Since 87. We won't count back how many years that was, that your glory days were, but it was a few years ago, and I think hockey's evolved so much that really it is comparable. Probably the program and the system that you were involved in is similar to what these guys, who are quite a bit younger than you are playing now, right? The game's changed a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, the conditioning they're doing now, the training they're doing now is beyond what I was doing in 87, and it's a lot more work on and off the ice for the boys at this Bantam AAA level. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's introduce the guys, and then we'll get back to you and talk a little bit more about what the program's going to look like this year. Fellas, Sheldin Howard and Braedin Melsted joining me, two players on the team. Guys, I know you're a little bit nervous about being on the Northstar Show. It's a pretty big deal. It's on YouTube, you know. The whole world can see this thing. So we'll start you off with a couple softies. Sheldin, favorite player in the NHL?
Sidney Crosby.
And because?
He can score, he passes good.
Good-looking
He's
guy, just like you. Absolutely. Braedin, who's your favorite player in the NHL?
Well, my favorite goalie is Tuukka Rask.
Nice. Because?
Well,
what do you love about that guy?
He's on my favorite hockey team, the Boston Bruins, so it kind of grew on me. But I don't got his temper.
Might be a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd say. I like it. Guys, just before we get back to Rob, so you were down south playing a couple games this past weekend. How did you feel the level of play was? What was it like to be in those games?
It's a lot faster than what we used to play. I found it was more fun. I liked it. Like, you improve lots. It's a lot more thinking. You got to really focus on everything since it's going so fast.
Got to have your head in the game all the time.
Yeah.
Excellent, and I suspect for you it felt good to be pushed like that, so it was probably tough playing, but it felt good to be playing at that level.
Yeah, for sure.
Sheldin, some of your thoughts? Same for you? Was it the game looked pretty quick from your perspective, or was it sort of old hat for a wily veteran like yourself?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. It was faster than King Miners, I guess.
So I've had a chance to coach Sheldin a little bit and Braedin as well. So a couple guys that have come up through the Thompson system here, King Miners for a few years anyways, and now moving on to sort of a regional team. So that's awesome, guys. Going back to Rob just a little bit. So what does your season look like? I know obviously you don't play weekday games because it's a lot of travel. So what is the season going to look like for you guys?
So it's a lot like the North Stars, right? It's 3-game weekends on the road and 2 games in town. We're going to have 5 home games in Thompson and 3 in Flin. So we'll have 16 home games this year, and it's a 36-game schedule. So there's 4 teams out of Winnipeg. 2 of them will travel up this year. The other 2 will come next year. And I'm thinking Eastman is the only other team that won't be coming up here this year. But it's great to have all these teams, Southern teams, come up north here, because for these 2 boys here and a lot of the other 13, 14-year-olds, they haven't had a hometown game since, I'm thinking, Munn Cup. So this is great for them.
I mean, I think so. I think it's spectacular for the guys, and I think it's great for the community as well to have those games. I know the last couple years we've all participated in some of the Friday night friendlies, which is just Pee-wees playing Bantams and the Adams and novices, but even that brings out big crowds, and it's exciting. So it's really nice to not just get stuck with one tournament and have some home games. So maybe a comment on that. You're excited to have that happening this year?
Oh, for sure. It's to have, hopefully, 100, maybe 200 people come out, and grandparents and parents get to watch their kids at home, don't have to spend the money to go out on the road, and it's really exciting, I think, for these guys and the community too, to have these other Southern teams come in here.
For sure. No, I think it's great. The Northstars is an amazing show, but they don't have nearly enough home games. So to add yourselves and to add the girls team as well, the Norman Wild, it'll be fantastic. Guys, turning back to you just before we wrap it up. First of all, what's your team name? I'm embarrassed to say I don't even know.
It's the Norman Wolves.
The Norman Wolves. All right. I like it. Go Wolves. We'll get the logo going and all that kind of stuff. Last one, I guess. What are you guys looking forward to this year in terms of, I guess, your team's performance? And also, can you highlight a couple guys, other than yourselves, you can't pick each other, that you think we should watch for on the team? Who are some of the guys that are really starting to shine?
Hunter Rambo, Chase.
Longtime arch rival, Hunter Rambo, now teammate. Chase Gurniak looking pretty good?
No, Chase Miswagon.
Also, I think Keaston Saunders, he's doing pretty good. Marco Neptabo, all the guys I think are very good and can play at this level when they want to. So I think you should come out and watch them all.
Absolutely. There's no way we're ever going to miss it. Braedin Melsted, Sheldin Howard, and Rob Biliqwka, thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks, Bruce.
Ethan, wake up, man. It's time for the Northstars Show.
Sorry.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
It's on TV, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here with Ethan Stuckless. Just woke up here in the Zamboni room. Apparently best place to hide from Coach Corman. Was the best place to hide from Coach Corman, not anymore. Looking back on the weekend, heard you got one help. Maybe should have had a couple more apples. What happened? Tell us about it.
I don't know, it was a little rough. I had a couple chances, couldn't bury, had a breakaway, didn't score. Fed Lance Laycock twice in one shift. I guess hit the post once, and other one got pushed from behind. It was a little rough, but I don't know, just got unlucky, I guess.
I think he's got to be better. If you're going to keep feeding him like that, he's got to put those in the net.
Yeah.
Sounds like the team got a lot better as the weekend went on. What do you think?
Yeah, very. The first game struggled. I mean, it was the first game we played together and everything, so it was hard. But the second game got way better. We started off really good. In the second period, we were still pushing. Then third period kind of got pretty bad, and then the last game there, we did really good together as a team, and passes were on and everything, and we started off and we were ahead this time, so that was good. But I guess we blew the lead there. But I don't know.
I mean, we weren't there to watch it, but it sounds like you guys are really starting to pick up some steam, and so it's going to be awesome to have you.
It'll be a good year for sure. Yeah.
Home here on the weekend, and a chance for us to see some stuff. Have you got 1 minute?
Yeah,
I mean, I know you're sleeping.
No,
sleeping
I'll
and
get back to
everything.
that when you're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how about we do 1 minute? You got it on the clock, Paulie? Favorite actor?
Johnny Depp.
Thanksgiving's right around the corner. White meat or dark meat?
White for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Once you grow up, you'll go to dark. Favorite pre-game meal?
Spaghetti for sure. Yeah, spaghetti.
Pasta. Any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
I'm so glad we got this one on the second show of the year. This is my favorite question. How do you like your eggs?
Scrambled.
Really? I'm a sunny side up guy. How old were you when you started skating?
4, and then I started actually playing hockey when I was 5 years old.
It's been a pretty good run so far. What's your favorite sport other than hockey?
Soccer.
I'm getting ribbed by the guys. Favorite restaurant in the Flon?
Mugsy's for sure. Yeah, I love soup and sandwiches, so that's my best place.
It's a gem. There's no doubt about it. Which teammate is always late?
Drew room, usually. Rough to say.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
White tape or black tape on the stick?
Black tape. I used to be a white tape guy, but I switched that around.
White with the turkey, black with the tape?
Yeah.
Interesting. Favorite hockey player and why?
Evgeny Malkin, because he's strong, he's physical on top of that, and on top of being physical and hard worker, he scores lots of goals and gets lots of points, and he's a good leader, so, I mean, strive to be like him.
I love that pick. You don't hear that much. That's a dynamite pick. Who's a faster skater, you or Pollock?
I'm a faster skater.
I think everybody knew that. That's 1 minute with Ethan Stuckless.
You're going for mayor.
Remember how many times I did last year? Hi, my name's Tony Apatagan. I'm number 20 from the Northstars. I play left wing. I'm from Norrie House, Manitoba. I went to HBO school, and my favorite player is Sidney Crosby.
One try!
The Deuce is in the books. That's episode 2, season 5. We're still getting the hang of things. We'll have the jacket next week when we welcome back some of the coaching staff from the Norman Northstars and others here on the Northstars Show. I want to thank Doug Korman for joining us, Ethan Stuckless for shaking himself awake and doing 1 minute, and some of the Norman Wolves, Rob Biliqwka, Sheldin Howard, and Braedin Melsted. Come on down to the CA Nesbitt this weekend. The Norman Northstars face the 0-2 Brandon Wheat Kings. Come on down and check out the action.